Okay, Dreamer. This is what a friend of mine told me. He is from. Well, hold on. Let me turn this microphone down. I discovered it was up too high yesterday. Okay. 1 second, buddy. See, microphone check. 1 2. 1 2. What the hell? Okay, levels. Boom. That better? Maybe not. Oh well, the mic boost is off, so it's at 32%. Let's drop this down some more to 12. Testing, testing. Okay, that's good. So it's been 1 minute, Dreamer. So this is what happened. Now, a friend of mine, before he died, he told me, because he's from Kenya and I'm not, and he told me that here in America, we don't breastfeed our kids long enough. And he pointed out that I think he said he breastfed till he's like 6 or 7. And in his village, they didn't get sick that much. They didn't have the basic colds, and they didn't have the stuff that we have. He says that here in America, because of the lack of breastfeeding and because of all the stuff that's in our air and everything, that's why we get sicker. And I remember when my son was like 2 years old, we went to Great America theme park. Was he 2? No, he could have been a little bit younger than 2 years old. But no, yeah, he was 2 years old. He wasn't even on the bottle then. He was off the bottle at 2. So our son, he was real small. I don't even think, man, was he walking yet? I don't know. Barely walking maybe. But he was still on a bottle. And I remember getting him a 2% milk. And I put it in this bottle, and an older black woman said, "Don't give that shit to your baby. Black kids don't need cow's milk." And she explained it to me that, way back when there were slaves, the black slave woman would have to give her milk out of her teats to the master's kids. They had to, the black women fed the white kids off their breast milk, and they gave the African kids cow's milk, the animal's milk. You get it? So their white kids grew up off the black teat. White women wouldn't squeeze their teat for their baby or give their teat to their baby, because after the babies drink, sometimes the tits would be saggy and floppy, and white men didn't want that. So the white women, preserved their breasts, and the black slave wenches had to feed the white kids. That's the master's excuse. Is another one of the master's excuses for getting these black women pregnant, is so they can feed their white babies. That's a different story. But it's all spawned because that black lady told me that when you feed babies, black babies, cow's milk, it messes with their guts and intestinal tract. And these people begin to end up with, what's the word I want to use? They're like this. They're lactose intolerant when they get older. Milk products upsets their stomachs, and gastrointestinal and problems because of the prolonged use of animals' milk in human beings. So maybe the African Americans' immune systems were weakened at birth through the constant use of a foreign body, such as an animal's milk, cow's milk. Now, don't get me wrong, I eat a bowl of cereal, and when I was younger, I used to eat cereal a lot. Now that I'm older, I am lactose intolerant. I can't drink. I just can't if you go get you a real malt, you'll be in the bathroom shitting for a few hours. What I'm trying to say is this. Through our history, we have been bred to be sickly. In other words, how can you be a strong group of people if your life expectancy is 42 years old? In other words, we have been created as an experiment, and it's what it is. It is what it is. You bring a group of people here. You force mix them, enslave them, do what you got to do, then you set them free. The second part of the experiment is socially. How can this group of people mix in socially after they've been deprived socially? How can they mix in and fit? See what I'm saying? So it's not just a divide and conquer. It's an experiment. You don't have to keep the lab rats if they're going to die. And it's not just black people. There are some diseases out here, strictly white people diseases. And why is that? Why is there certain things that affect certain people differently? It's part of the plan. Everything's a plan. The thing is that in the planning commission, we're not in the commission. We're not sitting there when they make these plans. So can you imagine when somebody says, hey, I'm so thirsty, I can drink the milk out of a black woman. Think about that. Think about how you going to raise thousands of people off the teat of those you hate so much. That is part of an experiment too. What would a group of people do to another group of people just so they can live a certain lifestyle? How far will you go to live the way you live? And when you look through the whole thing from a scientific perspective, whatever plan they got is working perfectly. You got black people's life expectancy is around 45. You can see it. You got stars like Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston going out at 50, right before 50. Why is that? Why is these people with something, all got this little timeline? Why is it that those who actually have been in the public eye go out around a certain time? Can you imagine a 75-year-old Michael Jackson running for office, or Whitney Houston and doing something that's big time, not drugs or whatever? People tend to change their lives after they get older. If you can't get older, then what are you? You just what you are. You're what you're told to be. Because you know no different, you know no better. All you know is what you were told. So when you tell a group of people, get your baby some milk. He don't want to take that teat, girl. Get him some milk. Get her some milk. Cow's milk is not made for human consumption. It's not made for human babies. It's definitely not made for black babies. But what have we been taught? A lot of black babies won't take the teat. My son wouldn't take it when he was born. So what do we end up giving him? The formulas. You see, the formulas are poisoned and spiked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I really got to do something with this. So Dreamer, that's what I believe it is. It's the, throughout food, you have to look at throughout food. It goes back to the masters. We'll give them the pig intestines. Let's see them eat that. It actually tastes good with hot sauce. Who thought everything that the slaves had to eat was what, they didn't want? Chicken feet. Yeah, give me chicken feet. Now you got pickled chicken feet. White people love that shit. White people eat chitlins. Chitlins is the bomb. And so why would anybody eat any pig intestines anyway? Come on. Come on. How do you treat people? What goes down comes round. I always say this because this group of people who did what they did to all of the people of all of this planet, they running this shit. The same people since before. AJ already left. That was him leaving. So that's what it is, man. It's just that throughout history we've been given the shit. You see what I'm saying? And you eat so much shit, that's what happens. We've been given the shit throughout history. That's it. That's it. That's why we're sickly individuals. And it's not just the advertisements for Lipitor and stuff like that. Check this out. How many motherfucking men out there, I'm serious, this is a dead serious question. How many men out there got what is it? Erectile or the dysfunction, ED? Now, think real hard about all these erectile pills and stuff, things to get your thing up. Nobody had these problems until just recently. Bob Dole announced that he had ED, and after that point on, people was having ED. You need to look at TV real close, not too close, because it'll fry your brain. But look at it. When you hear something new advertised, here in California, we call it crank, crystal, methamphetamine. Now, I was in Hawaii a few years ago, a long time ago. It's like, back. And they're talking about ice, this ice stuff. You smoke some ice and you'll be woke for 24 hours. Well, ice is crystal meth. Now, I have seen this shit a lot of my life. I mean, people had doing crank when I was in fucking high school, junior high school. But it wasn't famous until after I'd seen that statement. Ice will keep you woke 24 hours, and they advertised for that shit. And they advertised for it for like 3-4 months. And then I saw a dog, the bounty hunter. He says, these guys are doing ice. And I said to myself, ain't that crystal? That glass? That rock? What? These people advertise for the next drug, for the next food. How many motherfuckers had Chipotle sandwiches till one person had Chipotle? There's a formula they use on all Americans. Black, white, whatever. It's a basic formula. You give one person a sandwich. You call it the Deluxe Supreme Sandwich. Cardio, heart buster. You put all this sauce on it and you make it good. It's got hollandaise sauce on it. And every fucking thing from there on out. You'll see, oh, the new such and such sandwich with hollandaise and this pita bread on this one, and this one's got a pita sandwich. It's the same formula. With music. Hip-hop. R&B. Well, we used to have soul, funk, jazz, hip-hop, rap, R&B, soul, funk. Now what we got now? We got a formula. We got a hook. We got a dance track. We got a little rap, a little singing, and it's a formula. And they push that shit on everybody. And the thing is, same thing with the food. There's a formula. Same thing with the contrails in the air. It's a formula. It's a pattern. It's a constant pattern. People are getting sick. African Americans are getting sick because it's a design pattern. They want people to last a certain time and boom, you're gone. That's it. Give your ass 50 years and that's it. Or 45 years. But they're going to give their family longer. Because if I earned $100 million, just all of a sudden somebody gave me $100 million, and I only lived to 50, well, what happens to the money? Well, if I don't take care of my business, the money goes back into the system. My family will have to fight for it, and you know how fights are. You win some, you lose some. What happens when you live longer than you're supposed to live? Then you can have the time to take that money and make that money last for those after you. Now, if you got these black people dying off at 35 and 45, and you got poor white people dying off 35 and 45, Asians, Mexicans, so on and so forth, and you got your people living to 70 and 80, what does that do to your money? Think about it. If you can take care of yourself, you can eat anything you want to. If you leave a legacy for your family, they can afford to eat the best foods. They can afford to put themselves in position to live longer. But based on the program, you're supposed to fall apart and deteriorate 35, and hopefully you'll make it to 50. If you don't catch a venereal disease, if you don't, lose all your teeth, if you don't, go through all these certain things, you can take every tooth out of a person's mouth. If they rot in your head, then you can die from the chemical buildup. Healthcare. Why do so many African Americans get sick? Because they're not built to last no more. You don't need a black man to run your fields for 20 years, So you can take one now, run his ass to death, and let him die in 15 years. So you do your math. 18 plus 15 is what? And that's when a person is starting to die. Think about it. The average African American is not supposed to live to 50 in this program. So how can we keep ourselves healthy? Not fall into the situation to where we're eating out every night. McDonald's used to be, okay, get the kids and put them in the car. Let's go to McDonald's. It's a Friday. Once a month, maybe McDonald's. Shit, we find ourselves eating fast food stuff or going out, getting food 3 times a week. Where's the logic in that? People don't cook anymore. They got 1.5 million cooking shows teaching people how to cook upscale foods for upscale people. You learn how to cook that shit, you can go cook for them so they can live healthy. We're part of a program. Till people understand this and break the cycle, we will forever live in the matrix, doing whatever the fuck they tell us to do, doing exactly how they tell us to do it. And whatever or whoever or however, we will do what they tell us to do because we know no different. I once said people are like salmon because we have our entire history printed in us and we have to learn how to read it in order to write it. You feel me? And we are like salmon because there's some memories in your head that I know you don't know where they came from. These are legitimate memories. We are just like every other animal on this planet. Set programs, set destiny. Everything is set. The only way we can fix this is to break the bonds that hold us. Hold these people to the same standards in which they hold us to, and the walls will come down. You don't have to worry about dying at 40 because your teeth fell out. You're full of infection because you can't go to the doctor or afford some medicines that are going to collapse your livers, make your livers fail. You don't want your liver to fail, but you want to live, so you'll sacrifice your liver. It's illogical. That's why we got the problems we have. And man, you do a 4-minute video and I can stretch that motherfucker out to 20 minutes. That's ridiculous. But I don't know. I've been watching your videos lately, man. You make points, but people don't get up and wake up, then we'll be asleep. We'll be asleep forever, dreaming of a better life and getting exactly what we asked for. What do we ask for? We're a proud people, and we never ask for anything. What do we get? We get exactly what we ask for. You've been tubed.